Men over 50, do you feel an unwelcome erosion of your power, a subtle but persistent draining of your vital reserves? That sensation, that gnawing whisper that your best years are behind you, is not an immutable decree from time. It's not an inevitable slide into irrelevance. There's a profound difference between simply aging and declining. This isn't about denying the passage of time, but about profoundly changing its impact on your body and mind. We're talking about a targeted nightly ritual, a simple yet powerful act that doesn't just manage symptoms, but rather actively unlocks a renewed sense of potency, an invigorated vigor, and the kind of deep, restorative sleep you haven't experienced in decades. This ritual works by intelligently targeting the very cellular foundations of your being. Too many men passively dismiss these feelings, resigning themselves to what they mistakenly believe is an inescapable decline. But to skip this understanding, to bypass this crucial insight, is to miss the fundamental key, the very master key, to not just slowing, but actively reclaiming your most vital, most potent years. What if the future could feel more vibrant, more energetic, more you than you felt in a long, long time? Shifting ground. You feel it, don't you? That subtle, sometimes not so subtle, shift in your baseline. It's a quiet whisper at first, then a louder demand. The morning doesn't quite have the same spark it once did. That immediate surge of readiness has diminished, replaced by a lingering grogginess. The drive, the focus, the sheer physical capacity that once felt like an innate birthright now seems to require more conscious effort, more deliberate coaxing. Perhaps your competitive edge feels a little blunted, or your mental agility isn't as sharp in those demanding boardroom discussions. This isn't an isolated experience. It's a common narrative, almost an accepted truth, for men reaching this stage of life. But what if that narrative is fundamentally flawed? What if what you're experiencing isn't an unchangeable decree from time itself, handed down as an inevitable sentence, but rather a cascade of cellular events that we now have the scientific capacity to influence, to reshape, and perhaps even to reverse in their most debilitating aspects? The drift. It often starts quietly, innocently enough. You might notice a little less endurance on the golf course, requiring an extra cart ride, or simply feeling more fatigued after 18 holes. Recovery after a workout takes a bit longer than it used to. Muscles ache more profoundly, and for an extended period. Or perhaps it's a persistent mental fog, a struggle to recall names or focus on complex tasks that wasn't there before. For many, the most telling symptom is the quality of sleep. Less deep, more fragmented, leaving you feeling perpetually less recharged and more drained than you deserve. These aren't just isolated incidents, random fluctuations in your well-being. They are distinct, interconnected symptoms of a deeper, systemic shift occurring within your very cells. You might dismiss it with a shrug, labeling it as just getting older, or attribute it to the stresses of modern life. But that passive acceptance, that quiet resignation, is precisely what we must challenge. It's time to move beyond managing the symptoms and instead address the root causes of this creeping, pervasive drift, deepening unease. And it's important to acknowledge that it's not just physical. There's often a profound emotional component, isn't there? A pervasive sense of drift, a quiet erosion of purpose, fueled by the unsettling feeling that your most impactful, most vital years are irretrievably behind you. The world continues to move faster. Technology evolves at warp speed, and sometimes it feels like the very ground beneath your feet is constantly shifting, making it harder to keep pace. This anxiety, this quiet fear of irrelevance or declining capability, of not being able to contribute or perform at the level you once did, can be more debilitating, more psychologically draining than any purely physical symptom. It impacts your confidence, your relationships, and your overall outlook on life. But what if regaining that physical and mental edge, that sharp acuity and sustained energy, is also a powerful, deeply effective antidote to these insidious modern anxieties? What if reclaiming your vitality means reclaiming your sense of purpose and place in a rapidly evolving world? Hidden springs. The mainstream narrative, perpetuated by casual conversations and often by media, tells you to expect this decline, to merely manage its symptoms with an array of short-term fixes, and perhaps to accept it gracefully, fading into a less active role. But science, real, cutting-edge science, is revealing a far more nuanced and profoundly hopeful truth. We are not simply victims of our chronological age, chained to the number of years we've lived. Our biological age, the true dynamic measure of our body's health and vitality, is far more plastic, far more responsive to targeted interventions than we once dared to imagine. This isn't about magical elixirs or mythical fountains of youth. It's about understanding the deep, intricate, and astonishingly responsive mechanisms that govern your body's capacity for repair, regeneration, and sustained performance. It's about tapping into the hidden springs of your own biology, cellular symphony. Think of your body not just as a collection of parts, but as an incredibly complex and magnificent symphony orchestra. Every cell, every organ, every system is a finely tuned instrument, playing its part in perfect, synchronized harmony. For decades, it performs flawlessly, a crescendo of vitality, but over time, subtle changes begin to occur. The sheet music gets a bit faded, making it harder for individual sections to read their parts clearly. Some instruments go slightly out of tune, creating discordant notes. And crucially, the conductor, the maestro responsible for coordinating everything, for setting the pace, and ensuring every note is played with precision, starts to lose a bit of their energy, their commanding presence, their focus. The performance, inevitably, begins to suffer. The rhythm falters, the harmony weakens, and the overall power diminishes. What if we could not only provide clearer sheet music and retune the instruments, but more importantly, replenish the conductor's vigor, give them back their full, commanding, and energetic presence, allowing your body to perform its most masterful work once again? Mitochondrial fire. At the very heart of every single cell in your body, there are these tiny, bean-shaped powerhouses called mitochondria. They are not merely organelles. They are the literal engines of life, responsible for generating almost all the energy your body needs to function, to think complex thoughts, to move with strength and agility, to even repair itself after the wear and tear of daily living. When you were younger, these mitochondria were abundant, robust, highly efficient, and constantly being renewed, like a vibrant, self-repairing fleet of microgenerators. With age, however, their numbers can dwindle significantly, and their individual efficiency often drops, meaning each one produces less power. Imagine trying to run a grueling marathon with only half your normal fuel supply, and what fuel you do have being of a markedly lower quality. That's precisely the profound challenge many of your cells face every single day as you get older. A quiet, often unseen, energy crisis unfolding from within. Repair crews. Beyond energy production, your cells are in a constant, tireless state of self-repair. Every single day, your DNA, the very blueprint of who you are and how your body functions, sustains thousands upon thousands of microscopic lesions and damages. These can come from normal metabolic processes, from environmental toxins we're exposed to daily, and even just from the fundamental act of living, breathing, and existing. To counteract this relentless assault, your cells have evolved sophisticated, dedicated repair crews, complex enzymes and proteins that tirelessly mend these breaks, ensuring the integrity and accuracy of your genetic code. They are the vigilant guardians of your cellular blueprint, working round the clock. But these vital repair crews, much like any workforce, need sustained energy to perform their demanding tasks, and they also require specific coenzymes to function optimally, to truly execute their repairs with precision and speed. When these essential resources deplete, when the supply lines run dry, the repairs become less efficient, less thorough, leading to a dangerous buildup of unrepaired damage that accelerates cellular aging and dysfunction. The NAD gap. This brings us to a crucial, often overlooked molecule, a pivotal coenzyme called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or NAD+. It's not a vitamin in the traditional sense, something you simply absorb for general health, but it's absolutely vital for life itself, a fundamental currency of cellular existence. NAD+ is involved in literally hundreds of metabolic processes, playing a critical, indispensable role in optimizing mitochondrial function, keeping those powerhouses running at peak capacity. It's essential for orchestrating DNA repair, ensuring your genetic code remains intact and functional. And significantly, it's key to the activation of a family of longevity-associated proteins called sirtuins, often referred to as the guardians of the genome. Think of NAD+ as the universal currency of cellular energy and repair, the critical spark that ignites and sustains life at a microscopic level. Without sufficient NAD+, your cells simply cannot perform at their peak, leading to a cascade of functional decline across your entire system. Declining reserves. The challenging and often surprising reality is that our natural endogenous levels of NAD+ decline quite dramatically and precipitously as we age. This isn't a gradual, gentle tapering off. It's a significant, undeniable drop that begins in middle age and accelerates with each passing decade. By the time men reach 50, their cellular NAD+ levels can be half of what they were in their vibrant youth, or even less in some cases. This isn't a small, negligible drop. It's a profound depletion that has deep, far-reaching consequences across your entire physiological system. This decline isn't just an abstract number on a scientific graph or a statistic in a research paper. It translates directly and powerfully into the lived experience of diminished vigor, reduced physical and mental potency, and the frustratingly disrupted, non-restorative sleep that so many of you are experiencing right now. It is the cellular root of so many age-related complaints. Sirtuin shutdown. Remember those sirtuins I mentioned earlier? They are often called the guardians of the genome for good reason. They are master regulators, sophisticated cellular sentinels that keep your cells running smoothly, repairing damage, orchestrating the body's stress response, and even influencing metabolism and inflammation. These critical proteins are heavily, almost entirely, dependent on a robust supply of NAD+ to function effectively, to even activate. When NAD+ levels fall, as they inevitably do with age, sirtuin activity plummets. It's like the conductor of our cellular symphony suddenly losing their voice, or worse, losing their ability to move their arms to direct the orchestra. The instruments are still there, the musicians are present, but the coordination, the precision, the optimal performance, the very essence of the symphony is severely compromised. The entire cellular orchestra begins to falter without its empowered maestro. Diminished spark. Let's talk about potency and vigor, because for men, this isn't solely about one specific aspect of health or a narrow physical function. It's a profound, holistic sense of drive, mental clarity, physical endurance, and yes, even reproductive vitality and zest for life. When NAD+ levels decline, every single one of these facets can be dramatically impacted. Your cells, essentially starved of this crucial coenzyme, simply don't have the raw energy or the finely tuned regulatory capacity to fire on all cylinders. You begin to feel less sharp, less resilient in the face of challenges, less intrinsically motivated, and indeed less potent in every profound sense of the word. This isn't merely anecdotal, observation, or a psychological perception. It's a fundamental, measurable consequence rooted deeply in your cellular biology. The spark that once ignited your days dims, and with it, a vital part of your everyday experience. The energy drain. Consider the pervasive energy drain, that feeling of perpetually running on fumes. From the moment you wake up, through every move you make, every thought you process, every conversation you engage in, every single action demands a constant, uninterrupted supply of cellular energy. If your mitochondria are struggling to produce power, like a sputtering engine, and your NAD+ levels are critically low, it's akin to trying to run a high-performance engine on watered-down, low-octane fuel. You might just get by, you might manage to navigate your day, but you'll never achieve optimal performance, and you'll certainly feel a constant, heavy drag. That lingering fatigue, that lack of get up and go, that persistent feeling of needing more coffee or a nap, it often traces back directly to this fundamental, often unaddressed, cellular energy crisis deep within your system. It's not laziness, it's a biological reality. Sleep's betrayal. And then there's sleep. Deep, truly restorative sleep is not a luxury, an optional indulgence you can sacrifice. It's a fundamental, non-negotiable biological imperative for both physical and mental well-being. It's during these precious hours that your brain actively cleanses itself, flushing out metabolic waste. It's when your body meticulously repairs damaged tissues and regenerates new cells. It's when crucial memories are consolidated and emotional processing occurs. For far too many men over 50, sleep becomes shallower, more interrupted, less efficient. You wake up feeling like you haven't truly rested, often more tired than when you went to bed. This isn't just bad luck or a consequence of stress. It's often a direct consequence of systemic cellular disruption. Optimal cellular function, robustly fueled by sufficient NAD+, is absolutely critical for regulating your intricate circadian rhythms and enabling those deep delta wave sleep cycles where the most profound restoration takes place. The repair deficit. During those crucial restorative deep sleep phases, your body doesn't just rest, it actively ramps up its intensive repair mechanisms. Think of it as the meticulous night shift for your cellular maintenance crews. They are deployed to mend the day's damage, to rebuild, and to prepare for the next day's demands. But if your NAD+ levels are low, these vital crews are critically understaffed, under-resourced, and operating with diminished capacity. They simply can't get the extensive job done effectively or thoroughly. So, you're not only struggling to fall into that elusive deep sleep, but even when you do manage to enter it, the quality and effectiveness of cellular repair and rejuvenation are severely compromised. It creates a self-perpetuating, vicious cycle. Poor sleep exacerbates cellular decline, which in turn leads to even worse, less restorative sleep, digging you deeper into the deficit. Modern burdens. Our modern world, with its relentless pace and demands, compounds these already challenging issues. Chronic stress, an ever-present companion for many, puts an immense strain on your entire system. Sedentary lifestyles, where movement is often minimized, further inhibit optimal cellular function. Processed foods, stripped of vital nutrients and laden with inflammatory compounds, provide insufficient building blocks for cellular health. And constant exposure to blue light from screens, extending late into the evening, profoundly disrupts your natural circadian rhythms. All these pervasive factors put an additional, cumulative strain on your delicate cellular systems, further depleting your already dwindling NAD+ reserves and accelerating the biological aging process. It's a relentless, multi-pronged assault, and without targeted, intelligent support, your cells are fighting a profoundly uphill battle. It's no wonder so many feel overwhelmed, perpetually tired, and constantly a step behind the demands of their own lives. Reversing the tide. But here's the profound insight, the truly empowering revelation that changes everything. We don't have to simply accept this decline as an inevitable fate. What if there was a way to intelligently, effectively replenish those declining NAD+ levels, to refuel your cellular conductor with the vigor it needs, to empower your diligent repair crews with the resources they require, to reignite your mitochondrial fire with the spark of youth? This isn't about turning back the clock in some fantastical, fictional sense. It's about optimizing your biological machinery, bringing it closer to its youthful peak performance, restoring its inherent capacity for resilience and vitality. It's about giving your body the sophisticated tools it desperately needs to not just survive, but to truly thrive, to flourish, even as the years inevitably accumulate. It's about reclaiming your biological birthright, the key nutrient. And this is where the one vitamin comes into play. Though more accurately, we're talking about a specific type of NAD+ precursor, a specialized nutrient that serves as a direct cellular building block. While the body can theoretically make NAD+ from various dietary sources, the efficiency of these intricate pathways significantly diminishes with age, creating bottlenecks and limiting production precisely when you need it most. What we're discussing is a direct, highly effective way to provide your cells with the precise, high-quality building blocks they need to synthesize more NAD+ rapidly and efficiently. Think of it as giving your cellular factory a steady, premium supply of the highest quality raw materials, ensuring continuous, optimal production of that vital cellular currency, NAD+. This ensures your cells have everything they need to operate at peak capacity. NMN, the precursor. Specifically, the molecule we're talking about is nicotinamide mononucleotide, or NMN. NMN is a naturally occurring molecule that exists within your body, and it serves as a direct, highly efficient precursor to NAD+. When you strategically supplement with NMN, your body readily and directly converts it into NAD+, effectively bypassing the age-related bottlenecks and inefficiencies that plague other NAD+ synthesis pathways. It's a highly targeted intervention, a direct route designed specifically to address the root cause of the age-related NAD+ decline, rather than simply masking the complex array of symptoms. This direct pathway ensures that your cells receive the necessary fuel to ramp up NAD+ production precisely when and where it's needed most, leading to a profound systemic recalibration from within. nightly strategy. Why is the nightly timing of this intervention so strategically potent? Because your body's most intensive repair, regeneration, and restorative processes are often most active and optimized during the hours of deep sleep. It's during this crucial window that your cells are primed for renewal, rebuilding, and detoxification. By taking NMN before bed, you're not just adding a supplement, you're providing your cells with a powerful surge of NAD+, precisely when they are most receptive and primed for restoration. You're essentially fueling the cellular night shift, ensuring that those critical repair crews, your sirtuins, your DNA repair enzymes, your mitochondria, have everything they need to operate at peak efficiency throughout your deepest, most rejuvenating sleep cycles. It transforms your sleep from a mere pause into an active, profound period of cellular renewal. Waking Vigor. Imagine waking up not just feeling rested, but truly, profoundly rejuvenated. Imagine that sensation of innate clarity returning, that persistent mental fog lifting like morning mist. Picture a renewed sense of physical drive and potency that wasn't there before, a readiness to engage with the day, not just for one specific aspect of your life, but across the board, in your work, your hobbies, your relationships, your physical pursuits. This isn't about simply feeling less old or mildly better. It's about feeling authentically more alive, more engaged, more intrinsically capable, with a vibrant energy that spills into every interaction. It's about confidently reclaiming that natural vigor, that inherent spark that once felt so effortless and so natural in your younger years, and making it your present reality. Deeper impact. The impact of optimized NAD+ levels extends far beyond mere surface-level energy or improved sleep quality. With these crucial levels restored and maintained, your sirtuins are reactivated, no longer hobbled by insufficient fuel. This renewed activity profoundly supports cellular longevity, enhances metabolic health, helps regulate healthy inflammation responses, and even strengthens genetic stability, acting as powerful cellular protectors. This means better overall resilience against the stresses of modern life, a greater innate capacity to withstand environmental challenges, and a foundational shift towards a healthier, more vibrant biological trajectory at every level of your being. It's about building a stronger, more robust cellular defense system, not from the outside in, but from the very core of your internal architecture. Mental acuity. Many men who incorporate this strategic nightly ritual report a significant, noticeable improvement in their mental clarity and sustained focus. The brain, being an incredibly energy-demanding organ, consuming a disproportionate amount of your body's total energy, benefits immensely and directly from increased NAD+ availability. Tasks that once felt daunting, requiring intense, draining concentration, become more manageable, almost effortless. You find yourself able to sustain focus longer, think more sharply, process information with greater speed, and retain new information more effectively. This cognitive edge isn't just a convenient bonus in a complex world. It's an essential tool for navigating a fast-paced environment, for maintaining your intellectual relevance, and for enjoying the rich tapestry of life with sharper perception. Emotional resilience. And what about emotional resilience? That crucial capacity to bend without breaking under life's pressures. When your body is performing optimally at a cellular level, when your sleep is deep, truly restorative, and when your mental faculties are sharp and clear, your innate capacity to handle stress, to face significant challenges, and to maintain a positive, optimistic outlook naturally and profoundly improves. That undercurrent of subtle anxieties, that quiet hum of worry begins to recede, replaced by a grounded, authentic confidence rooted deeply in your renewed sense of self-mastery and internal balance. This powerful ripple effect touches every corner of your life, influencing your mood, your relationships, and your ability to respond to adversity with grace and strength rather than feeling overwhelmed. Societal shift. Consider for a moment the broader, more expansive implications of this cellular renaissance. As men over 50 collectively reclaim their vitality, their intellectual drive, their physical prowess, and their invaluable contributions, it fundamentally shifts the very fabric of society's perception of aging. We actively push back against the prevalent ageist narrative, demonstrating powerfully that profound experience and hard-earned wisdom can be paired seamlessly with enduring vigor, sustained creativity, and unwavering intellectual curiosity. You become a living example, a powerful testament to the fact that the later chapters of life can and should be some of the most productive, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling periods imaginable. This isn't just about personal optimization, it's a quiet, yet profound revolution in how we define what's possible in our vital, mature years. Your potential. This isn't about some fantastical, elusive quest to avoid the natural progression of time or to remain eternally young. Instead, it's about profoundly optimizing the journey itself. It's about understanding, truly grasping, that your biological potential, often erroneously considered fixed and predetermined, is in fact remarkably dynamic, plastic, and profoundly responsive to informed intervention. You hold the inherent power, the agency, to influence that trajectory, to guide your body towards its optimal state. This nightly ritual is not some magic pill promising instant, effortless results. It's a disciplined, scientifically grounded commitment to supporting your body's profound, intrinsic capacity for self-renewal, intelligently guided by the very latest scientific understanding of cellular biology and longevity. Disciplined choice. Ultimately, this is a disciplined choice. It's a conscious decision to actively engage with your biology, to provide it precisely with what it fundamentally needs to thrive, to flourish, rather than passively accepting what was once considered an inevitable, irreversible decline. This isn't just about adding more years to your life, extending your chronological existence. It's about adding immeasurable, vibrant, meaningful life to your years. It's about ensuring that those years are lived with a renewed sense of purpose, with an abundance of energy, with mental clarity, and with the kind of deep, truly restorative sleep that makes every single day feel like a fresh, invigorating beginning, ready for new possibilities. Beyond expectations. We are actively moving beyond an era where aging was almost synonymous with inevitable frailty, chronic illness, and cognitive decline, a period of resignation. We are now entering a groundbreaking phase where informed, strategic decisions, rigorously grounded in robust scientific research, allow us to confidently defy and transcend previous expectations about what it means to age. This nightly intervention isn't just about a single compound or a simple supplement. It's about wholeheartedly embracing a profound paradigm shift in how we approach our own longevity, the quality of our existence, and our capacity to engage fully with every stage of life. It's about consciously rewriting the narrative of aging. Inner architect. You are, in the truest and most profound sense, the architect of your own well-being. By understanding the foundational, indispensable role of crucial molecules like NAD+, and by embracing the power of strategic, targeted supplementation, you unlock an unprecedented degree of agency over your own biological destiny. This isn't merely an external fix or a superficial band-aid. It's a deep, internal recalibration, empowering your body's magnificent, inherent capacity to rebuild, to repair, and to rejuvenate itself from the very core of your cells. It's a proven pathway to not just surviving the passing years, but to truly flourishing, to experiencing genuine vitality well into your most productive, vital years and beyond. Have you noticed a significant difference in your sleep or morning energy as you've gotten older? What's been your biggest challenge in maintaining your youthful vigor?